that means you'll be back next year.
I'll leave it gardener.
Where are you going?
Green.
Hi, Garland. Oh, who is that?
She's cold because she's a wood.
She's all bundled up.
Well, listen,
I got my blanket.
it is a little chilly in here.
It's not that cold.
It is like
Honestly, I'm sweating, so I can't talk. I'm like,
Well, maybe you should come to bed and sit under it.
I'm sitting under one right now. But it's just not running.
12 lights, and I can just see what's standing right here.
Do you have to replace them or something?
I've been replacing them. These up here are the worst ones, because I gotta use the ladder. Out here, I
No
can
way.
just lift. Yeah.
I thought I could use it down there too because of the people.
Well, those there, I can get from the catwalk.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy right here.
I love that.
Catwalk's solid as this pool.
Where's it
It's
See that
behind the
platform?
white.
That platform right here?
at? Yeah.
It goes all the way across, and then right here goes to the number clear, the last. Right out. This first one, yeah, the first one is all full. There you go.
Yeah. So obviously it's
Are you as emotional as your wife?
What?
Are you as emotional as your wife?
No, I'm not.
I didn't think it would be, but I didn't know since it's the first one.
What's next? What do cows be fed? Is there any milk in the fridge? Is there any money to buy milk?
Exactly.
Those are the things that I get emotional about.
Yes, I agree with that.
No, I thought about it. It's just,
Yeah. It's exciting, it is a change.
Oh, no. High school, we like rolling right on time.
All right.
Make that thing point.
Raise your hand if you guys are ready for the school year to be over with.
I love you. Thank you.
a long year and everything's just finally coming to the end, and it's happening so quickly. But it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Spring Sports Awards Assembly. This program is going to wrap up the last awards assembly of the year. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our student body for all of their involvement during this school year. So I know sometimes that a lot of you are involved in many different activities, and I'm sure that at times it can be very stressful. So the fact that you guys continue to stay involved is really important, because I feel like that helps in many aspects of your life. We've had a very successful year, and I think that just, staying involved is a great way to just keep your grades up, staying active, and it also helps you maintain a positive attitude. So I love seeing you guys down the hallway, high-fiving, supporting one another. I think that's fantastic. I would also like to take this time to thank all of the parents for supporting all of the athletes and the coaches throughout the season. I know it takes a lot of time and dedication, because when you've experienced being a coach, you spend a lot of time, they spend a lot of time working with you to help make you guys better, and I think that's very important. So we as a district, we recognize this, and we would like to commend our coaches for everything that they have done to better our students and to better our schools. So student body, please give them a round of applause. All right, let's go ahead and welcome Mr. Foote from the baseball team. He was also assisted by Evan Faulkner.
Can I get my baseball guys up here quick? So while those guys are coming up, I want to go ahead and get my thank yous out of the way. I'm going to have several of these. You understood as a coach, when you run a program, it's never just you. It's not. So there's several people behind it that makes this thing successful. So obviously I want to thank the head coach, the school board for allowing me to do this again. This is my fourth season. Technically three, I guess, if you count COVID year and all that fun stuff. Mrs. Jenkins, I know it's never easy this year, being in a new position, things like that. I was always in there asking questions, so thank you for your patience. Mr. Bellinger, I know he's going to get the position this year as well too, so I know that's a very, very difficult and challenging thing, so thank you to him as well too. Jen Hokinson, with all my substitutes, my scheduling, all the fun things that nobody else loves to do, thank you to her. Mrs. Camarina, Mrs. McCartney for running the concession stands. I know how valuable those things can be at ball games and things like that, so thank you for that. Andy Lohmeyer, he films my baseball games for me actually, so I can watch those games and kind of, be able to determine the little things about that. So thank you, Andy. Alan Carlson, Gary Thompson, and Donnie Bailey for getting the field ready. That is not a luxurious job, I promise you that. So thank you to those guys for taking care of the field for me. Jim Lohmeyer for driving us. Even coming back and dropping off some equipment if you might have forgotten or something like that, man. So thank you to Jim. Janice Fager, running the scoreboard, that's never a glorious job as well. We've got Sarah, Mike Fager, Ames, Tyler Parsons, Michelle, Russell Baptiste, Nancy, Richard Lamb, Kelly, Travis Bowen, Kelly Orander, Kylie Lohmeyer, Tracy Moe, Debbie Fagan, Jerry, Lisa Creesaw, talk to me, and also my coaching staff, Coach Falk and Coach Greg. Coach Greg could not be here today, and things like that. So there are several people I would love to say thank you. I'm sure I accidentally forgot somebody. If I do, I apologize for that. But like I said, to run a successful program, it's never just the coaching staff, I promise you that. It's not just the players, it's everybody else behind the scenes that makes a successful program. So thank you guys for that, I appreciate that. So we'll kind of continue to talk about our varsity season and things like that. So if you've been in any of the games, we have had a successful season. I've been very, very pleased with my guys. We started the year off 2-0. We had an opportunity to play against the former state champions. Literally in 2022, we played those guys, and I think that was the first time we beat those guys in a few years. So we were able to get the sweep, 2-0 on the season to start that. And then technically, we finished the regular season at 14-2. We were scheduled to play against Chase County again tomorrow, but obviously weather has a different mind, so we're not even going to schedule that one. So we did finish the season at 14-2. The last 3 seasons, we have finished with 11+ wins. That is awesome for Osage City baseball. If you've ever seen it and things like that, it's never been a glorious thing, okay? I always talk about it's been kind of neglected in a way. So for these guys to, contribute the way they did, continue to win the games that they have, it's been a very, very big blessing. I think the most exciting thing about this season for us, and I think these guys truly understand it, if you've ever been in the gym, you look on the board over there, there's not a lot of things going on with the baseball program. Well, the last time anything great really kind of happened to this program was in 2009, okay? If you were a part of that, that was the league championship, okay? So that's something I've always held over these guys. I've always talked to them about, hey, this is what it's going to take for us to be able to become league champions. Well, congratulations to these guys. For the first time in 2009, they are your outright league champions. So we'll go ahead and give these guys a round of applause. Like I said, it's never easy, guys. It's really, really not. It takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, and that's what a lot of it comes down to. So for this senior group, I calculated it up earlier, they are finishing their regular season high school careers with a record of 43 and 17. So that is a lot of games contributed, okay? So I mean, that is a lot of games, a lot of opportunities for them to continue to help our program grow. So congratulations to you guys. And like I said, we're not supposed to be done, okay? So keep rolling, man. So the biggest thing, like when you become a head coach, you want your kids to be successful. That's what it really comes down to. You want to have the opportunity to not only let them be the best athlete that they can be, but become the best person that they can be. Okay, and that's something that I always strive for. I look forward to. I've had a lot of great kids come through this program. When you are around each other every day, sometimes it might be too much. You might need a break every once in a while. But I truly aspire to these kids. I love these kids. They do everything that I ask of them. Sometimes maybe scratch my head. I don't know what it is, but some of these guys are pretty interesting on some days. But for the most part, I do love them at the end of the day. Couldn't be more proud of those guys for that. If you haven't seen as well, the regional rankings did come out today, so we did finish. We're going to be the number 2 seed going into that. The games are over at Pomona, West Franklin. We do play Monday at 2, okay? So I know that's obviously during school hours, but our mindset is to take care of business, and then we obviously play later that evening as well, too, with a chance to go to the regional championship and then potentially go to state. So those are things that we're aspiring to do, but like I said, it literally starts in practice, and we got to continue to do the little things right, okay? So I'll kind of give you a spill over the JV season and things like that. Every year I try to schedule a bunch of games, because as an athlete, you don't want to come to practice and you don't want to practice every day playing 3 games, right? Well, I typically try to get 20 games. We had 20 scheduled this year. Obviously, Mother Nature had a different mindset. We were only able to play 14 of them, so we finished with a 6-8 record, okay? I knew going into this year we were going to be young. I knew that. We had several guys that were true freshmen this year, a little green. But I think at the end of the day, they learned a lot about the game of baseball. They continued to progress. I think the valuable thing about JV is to understand that the majority of the kids that are playing varsity for me starting now have all played JV for me. I think that's the thing. Being a JV player is never glorious. It's not a luxury. But I think at the end of the day, you have to truly understand that is where you get your valuable rest, and that is how you become the best person that you can be. You learn a lot more about yourself. So I thought the JV did a fabulous job this year. Honestly, a lot of guys stepping into new roles. I'm excited to see what they can help out later on down the road this season, because I do amount to those guys contributing just a little bit as well too. So like I said, we won't waste any more of the time. We'll kind of get to the letter of the provisional and the participation and things like that. So we'll just keep to the 2-clap system. Once those guys come up here, we can give them the 2 claps. Congratulate those guys, okay? So for our first letter winner, we have senior Austin Creekall. Next we have Braxton Bowman. Brecken Bowman. Colby Hilton. Cooper Parsons. Hawkshot C. James Boydard. Katie Kirkpatrick. Casey Parsons. Logan Fagan. Noah Lohmeyer. Zane Ornder. So those are obviously the letter guys. A lot of these guys have contributed in countless ways this year. Like I said, the majority of those guys that I listed off have played JV for me. So understand there's a process that comes to it, but I think we're better from it. Next we have our provisionals. Severn Rumble. And then we got Bowen Rumble. So when we come down to provincial, these two obviously contributed in a lot of ways for us this year. We don't actually technically have a team manager all the time. Owen was my team manager last year when he was hurt, but this year he decided to play baseball. He still contributed in every form and fashion there was, okay? He didn't always get the reps that everybody else was getting, but I promise you, he never batted an eye. He continued to show up and continued to get better, and he's a great teammate because of that, so I truly appreciate that. Thank you. Next, we would have our participation, okay? So obviously, these are individuals that travel with us a lot, contribute to the team just as much as the varsity does in a way. So participation would be Austin Lamb, Colin Curley, Dave Mead, Hayden Kearns, Colby Fagan, Leighton Moon, Levi Punches, Matt Leonard, and Peggy Tomlinson. And there was one thing I wanted to talk about Colby Fagan for. Earlier this year, Colby Fagan had a misfortune. He was hurt in the very first game. The very first game against Linden. Had a fracture in his knee, so he wasn't able to play in any games the remainder of the season. But I'll tell you what, he never missed a practice. He never missed a JV game. He was always there. He was dependable. He was even trying to get reps when he wasn't cleared yet and wasn't supposed to, okay? That's what I think that's what a lot of it comes down to. There's a lot of individuals in this world that if they're hurt, they're sitting out and finding any way they don't have to participate. Colby never did that. He was always doing something, grabbing a bucket of baseball, grabbing the screen, doing whatever he needed to do for the team. And that's what makes successful teams. It's not guys that think about themselves. Our motto is we open up. And I truly believe a lot of these individuals believe that. All right, so understand team success, it's a big thing. Okay, so if you want individual success, it comes with team success, okay? So I really appreciate you guys. Like I said, hey, we're not done yet. We got to continue to move in the right direction. And like I said, if you guys don't have anything on Monday, make sure you guys come out. I know softball, they're going to be, I believe, the #1 seed in their regional, so congratulations to you. I think we have league track Friday as well, too. So all you guys that are competing in that, compete. Literally compete, okay? You only get so many more opportunities to do this and enjoy it. Enjoy your teammates, your classmates, your peers, because, like I said, one day it's all gone. Sports will leave you. So enjoy it while you have it. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, let's go ahead and welcome Ms. Spicer, and she was assisted by Mrs. Garland and Mrs. Wilcoxon.
All right, softball girls, we come on. While they're coming up, I'll go ahead and get started on my thank yous. Many of the same that Mr. Cook just said, but I want to first start by thanking all the administration, Mr. Son, Mrs. Jenkins, Mr. Bellinger, for being at all our games and supporting our staff and team. Thank you to our bus drivers for driving us safely to games. A big thank you to Alan and Gary for keeping our fields in good condition throughout the season and getting them ready for games. And a thank you to John Garland for dragging our fields the whole season. Thank you to Alberta Tate for taking our scorebook and capturing softball cans when needed. Thank you to the parents for feeding the players and coaches every game and bringing snacks for the field house. I know the girls really appreciate those. Thank you to Jen in the office for getting my subs and everything like that. I know that's stressful. Thank you to the Pitts family for running Game Changer every game. And thank you to my assistant coaches. I know they take time away from their families. They've just been very supportive this season, so I appreciate all they do. Lastly, thank you to the players. Thank you for putting in work every day with a positive attitude. All your hard work during the season and out of season has made my job easy. So thank you for all that you do. This season, our JV went 3-5 with 4 rainout games. And I know if we would have played those rainout games, we would have had a couple more wins. So that record doesn't really show the improvement that they made this season. We had a lot of young players, and they worked so hard, and it got better, tremendously better throughout the season. A lot of them played different positions, like Foot said, for the baseball team. varsity is 16-2. This season has been a ride. So after last season being 6-15, we knew that the returners were going to come back with intentions to do better and have a maturity in them. And then we had some talented freshmen that joined with us as well. So for our season, we lost the very first game playing Mission Valley, who was also in softball the 2A state champs. And we lost 4-5 in extra innings. That was our first game, first loss. We then went on a 12-game winning streak until we met the 4th place team in 2A, Central Heights, who was undefeated. We actually lost in the first game, but then I'm so proud of this team. They bounced back and gave Central Heights their only loss of the season. We beat them 5-4 after losing 3-8. So that was great. And then we went on and we played 3 more games against Chase County and Northern Heights, where we got wins as well. This team has worked so hard, and I know we're not done yet, like Foot said, but they owe all the credit. Like, they come every single day and they do what they're supposed to, and they're disciplined, and they just work so hard, and I can tell they like each other so much. Like, they enjoy being there. And I know sometimes that's hard because we have long practices, but they do it with a smile, and they're very entertaining. Like Foot said, we do play at Anderson County on Monday. We have the 2 o'clock game as well. We'll play Fredonia. So we'll be leaving early that day. And if anyone can come out and support, we appreciate it. We'll play Monday, and then if we win, we'll play Wednesday. So yeah, things I want to go on next is stat leaders. So I kind of broke down some of the major things in our season, and I have a leader for JV and varsity. So for batting, JV was led with Riley Pettigene. She led the team with a 294 batting average, a 429 on base percentage, and a 411 slugging percentage. So that was great. Riley played some varsity for us as well, so I should really step up when we were on JV. For varsity, our batting was led by Taylor Erickson. She had a 447 batting average, 559 on base percentage, a 702 slugging percentage, with 21 hits, 23 RBIs, 3 home runs. This girl hit 2 home runs against Central Heights and was intentionally walked 3 times. Like, people do not want to pitch her. And she has 3 doubles, which is pretty impressive with that speed of hers. I always get right time out. Okay, talk about speed. Stolen bases. For JV, we were led by Lillian Mitchell, who had 5 stolen bases on the year. Varsity, we have a tie. It is Gracie Smith and Kelly Lane. They both have 10 each for stolen bases. For fielding, JV was led with Emery Camarina. She played third base for us on JV. She had 21 total chances with only 6 errors on the season, which was pretty good. Had the highest fielding percentage. And then on varsity, it was Olivia Phillips, who has a fielding percentage of 925 with 21 putouts and only 3 errors on the season. So hopefully we can continue that on at second base. For pitching, we had Kira Davidson, who pitched for us on JV. Kira is our starting third baseman on varsity, and she really, I don't think, loved pitching for us on JV, but she did it for the team and was very selfless for that. And she had a great year pitching, and we're so proud of her. And she put in work when maybe she didn't necessarily always want to be pitching for us. On varsity, we had 2 pitchers. We had Gracie Smith. She has an ERA of 1.4 with only 17 runs allowed on the season. She's undefeated and has 39 strikeouts. Our second pitcher is Peyton Pitts. She has an ERA of 1.64. She has 27 runs allowed and 76 strikeouts. These 2 pitchers complement each other so well and have done just a great job for us, so we hope to continue that on. I'll now go on to lettering. So just like we did before, 2 claps, please. So we'll start with participants. So we have Ellie Gunner, Addie Couch, McKenna McFarland, Allison Sloop, Maddie Warren, Riley Farwell, Morgan Goodyear, Kelsey Lloyd, and Claire Sherman. We have 1 provisional, which was Emery Camarina. And then lettering. The first 2 I have are managers, Harmony Dorsey and Haley Lloyd. They both have done so much for us, just getting things ready, picking things up, just doing whatever appreciate them dearly. Okay, next we have Peyton Pitts, Addie Watson, Kira Davidson, Taylor Erickson, Paige Peacock, Callie Lane, Emily Mullins, Riley Pettigene, Gracie Smith. Alright, and then I'm going to talk about my seniors. We have 4 seniors this year, and they'll all be lettering. They've been great leaders and have really stepped up for our team when we needed them. I've had the pleasure of being part of all 3 of their seasons that they have, either as assistant coach or head coach, and I've seen just so much growth in them, not only as athletes, but as people. So the first one I'll be talking about is Lily Mitchell. Yeah, 2 claps, please. Lily has played many positions for us over the years. She's pitched, played shortstop and third base. Some stats from Lily's senior season include an on-base percentage of .231 and a fielding percentage of .667. Our next senior, Ellie Shoemaker. Ellie has been the best teammate I've ever coached. She's just exceptional. She does what she needs to do for the team and is so unselfish. Just a great girl to be coaching. She has played right field, left field, and catcher. Pretty much the ultimate utility player for us. Does whatever we need her to do. Some stats from Ellie's senior year include a 300 batting average, a 300 slugging, and 300 on-base percentage with 1 stolen base. Alright, next senior is Peyton Gaitherbine. Peyton came back out her junior year. She likes to say that she took a 5-year hiatus and came out of retirement. But she has stepped up and played outfield for us the last 2 seasons, either left or right. Some of her stats this year are a .303 batting average, a .425 on base percentage, a .424 slugging percentage. She has 10 hits and 9 RBIs on the season. And then our last senior is Olivia Phillips. Olivia, in my opinion, has made the most improvement over her 3 years. She's grown into a great leader and a good example for the team. She has started since her sophomore year, so she had COVID year, obviously. She played third base in previous years, but this year she's really stepped up and taken over that second base position for us. She hits third on our lineup. She's batting .404 on the season, has a .462 on base percentage, and a .472 slugging percentage. She has 23 hits, 12 RBIs, and like I mentioned, she leads our team in fielding percentage. So Olivia's made a big impact on our team. So to wrap up, Lily, Ellie, Peyton, and Olivia, we wish you nothing but the best, and you will be missed. We hope to send you out on a high note. On Monday, we'll start with regionals. We hope we can be successful and continue on this Monday. If anyone makes the game, we'd appreciate the support, and thank you.
Mr. Bellinger with track, and he was assisted by Mr. Crawford, Mr. Tice, and Mrs. Watkins.
While they're coming up here, I also want to start by saying good luck to the baseball team, softball team, golf. I know you're still finishing up in 4A tonight for league. Good luck tonight, and also good luck on Monday as well. And then also congratulations to Mr. Stokey and the state forensics team and how well they did this state. We'll let him cover that. So, other things, I do want to reiterate what Mr. Fort said during the winter. I think the biggest thing that I would worry about being up here is,
forgetting someone. More importantly, forgetting one of these guys. I think I went through the roster like 10 times. Still not confident that I got the right roster. And so if someone's forgotten, never intentional, and we'll always make up for that. So thank you to Mrs. Jenkins, especially with my new role. Mrs. Jenkins steps in and helps when I'm at track meet or something, and there's baseball, softball game. She steps in and supervises, so I appreciate all the things that she helps with. Mr. Hessong and the school board for allowing me to do what I love to do. The Booster Club, I know they take on a meal. They also pay for a state meal for all the kids that qualify for state. Mrs. Hokinson for getting subs. She printed off my certificates for me. She gets all the letters and the bars and all that kind of stuff out for us, so that's great. Alan Carlson, he helps us set up the meets. He takes all the stuff down. Our bus drivers, I try to remember all of them. You guys can help me out here. Alan, Dee, Sandy, and Jim. Not sure if anybody else drove us to meets, but we do appreciate that. I want to thank all the teachers. Obviously, you guys have kids that are in and out of your classrooms, especially in the spring, all the time. So I appreciate your guys' patience with kids, getting their homework, missing class, things like that. So we appreciate you guys as well. Obviously, I appreciate my assistants, Coach Watkins, Coach Crawford, Coach Tice, who's probably playing with kindergartners right now. Quite don't dodge all that, but I have a great staff. Everybody kind of has their own little thing, their niche, and they take care of business, and it makes it easy for me to be able to do other things, entries, things like that. So I also want to thank their families. We are gone an awful lot into the evenings, and then by the time they get home, it's probably everybody's in bed and already taken care of. So I appreciate their families as well. My wife and kids, and then I want to thank the parents. This year, as we started the track season, we got into it several weeks, and we kind of all stood around and looked at each other like, wow, this has been a great start to the season. Like, everybody showed up, everybody was putting in work, nobody was complaining. It was kind of different. Last year we had not quite the same scenario, and so this year it was a breath of fresh air. These kids just showed up and worked, and so I thank the parents for handing us such great kids to work with. Athletes, I was giving the same speech last year, and I was complaining about the spring. Last year I thought the spring weather was horrible. There were so many cold, rainy, wet days. This year, I think the spring treated us pretty well. I know the track team, we were cut shy on 2 meets, and then we had some windy meets, but other than that, I think the spring treated us pretty well. So I appreciate all your guys' efforts, and I look forward to what we will accomplish in these last 3 weeks. Because of that, obviously, we have not had league, we have not had regionals, and we certainly have not had state. So there's not a lot for me to tell you about each individual person on what they've accomplished, but I will just say, sort of stay tuned. So far, we have had a great season. If you follow the Facebook page, you can always see the results and how people are doing. League is this Friday at Council Grove. Next Thursday, we have regionals at Fredonia, and then all of those that qualify top 4 at Fredonia will move on to the state meet in Wichita. We do, however, have 2 records that I would like to talk about for the moment. Special congratulations to Campbell Stark for sitting now alone on the high jump record at a jump of 5 feet 2 inches. I've been telling her for a while, one of my pet peeves is when someone ties a record and then I have to put like multiple names on the same line, so she took care of that for me, so I appreciate that. And I would also like to give a congratulations to Landon Voss for breaking the high school shot put record with a throw of 56 feet 6 inches. So great job to both of you for that. Today, athletes receiving a letter means that they have scored a point of varsity meet this season. If an athlete received a provisional, that means they were close to scoring, they went to most of the varsity meets. And if they do come back next season and score, then they'll receive their letter. All others receive a participation certificate. Some of this will change. There's a possibility, whether it's Friday or next Thursday, that some of these athletes can change from a provisional to a letter, or even a participation to a letter. So these can change. And if they are wrong, I'm sure they will let me know. If someone will say, hey, remember this meet? And I won't remember, but I did certainly try my best. So here we go. We'll start with participation. So we have Logan White, Harrison Bailey, David Noonan, Ronan Rumble, Louise Whitefull, and Mariah Jenkins. We have 2 people today receiving provisional letters, and those are Mallory Patterson and Jess Reese. Okay, the rest of these have probably scored multiple times in different meetings, and so obviously they'll receive a letter. Some will receive their bar, some will receive their letter, and they'll all these get the pen. So lettering today, and this is not in order. This is sorry, totally random up here. So starting here, Lucas Gambine, Cooper Parsons, Noah Schrader, Britton Bird, Landon Reeves, Zeta Spade, Emery Spees, Dallin DJ Long, Julia Kitzelman, Jacob Bossing, Dakota Boss, Sadie Shoemaker, Tamia Waller, Alex Sage, Campbell Stark, Kirsten Dayhoff, Lexi Boss, Paige Burke, Dylan Teal, Quentin Stark, Luke Warner, Tate Smith, Luke Kearns, Josiah Smith, Isaac McCoy, Noah Martinez, and Chase Lee. So the first thing is, you can see we have a lot of kids out here, and a lot of kids did letter this year for us. So that means they were scoring points in varsity meets. And so I really do look forward to next season and what can happen, because you'll see here in just a minute, I'm going to talk about our seniors, and we only had 4. 1 girl and 3 boys. And so big things coming. Obviously, everybody just loves to look at the junior high kids and see what we get coming forward, but it's exciting. So I want to start with these, we'll finish up with these seniors. But the first senior, our little girl, Greta Crawford, she obviously led her this year. Greta's been a big part of our track program for the last 4 years. She, to me, has been like a utility person. She has ran sprints. She has done some mid-distance. She's been jumped a few times. And as most of you know, she is a high-caliber thrower for us in the discus. We will miss Greta's leadership on the track team. Thanks, Greta. Weston Dunbar. Weston has had an interesting, well, all these guys had an interesting 4 years because they all lost their freshman season. But Weston, I can't remember. Sophomore year was your hip. Junior year was the thumb, right? And so finally this year, we were excited to get him back because we were kind of like, man, we just got untapped talent here. And so Weston also has sort of been a utility guy for us. He pole vaulted, he ran some sprints, and he's also done some mid-distance for us this year. So we were glad to get Weston out, even if it was for only 1 year. But it's been a great year so far, and like everybody else, we're not done yet. He's going to try to earn that trip to state here in a couple of weeks. Next up, Katie Kirkpatrick. Caden been with us for the 2nd year, correct? Yep. And in his short time, Caden has become a fantastic thrower. We have a incredible throwing program. Kudos to Mr. Crawford. But also these kids behind me. Our throwers are amazing. You know, I sent a kid to a JV meet and he threw a bomb, and other coaches were kind of like, dude, what's this kid doing here? And I'm like, he's our 4th thrower. Unfortunately, he's a JV kid, where on most teams, he'd be solid varsity, but we have tremendous throwers, and usually I don't get to enter, you get to enter 2 kids in regionals in every event, unless you have 3 kids that have all made the qualifying standard, and our throwers have done that. So Caden gets an opportunity next 2 weeks to throw at the regional here in Fredonia. to try to get a chance to go to state. So in his short time, he has been a great thrower. He even stepped in on a 4x8, I think, a couple times, which if any of you watched that was exciting. And but I would definitely miss Caden and his personality and his humor that he brings with him pretty much wherever he is. I really will miss Caden. And then we've got Landon Ross. I got Landon Ross. There we go. And I'm not sure what I can say enough about this kid. Most of you obviously know Landon's sports story. He's an incredible athlete. He's got league championships out the wazoo. He's got regional championships. And Landon last year already got a state championship. If you go out and look on that wall, I think the kid's got 3 different pages on his honor roll of all the things that he's accomplished. But those things just aren't given to him. And I think that's the one thing I'll say. This kid works his tail off for every single one of those things that he's earned up there. Obviously, in these next 3 weeks, he has an opportunity to add to those, but he is relentless in his pursuit of excellence, and without a doubt, he's going to add to those championships in the next 3 weeks. I know he's off to football next year at Butler, so I wish him the best of luck. That's Landon. I want to say to all my seniors, good luck in what awaits them in the future. I hope you've learned some things that you can take with you on your journey. You can look back at the days of your track career, and you can say you've enjoyed a lot of moments, whether it was hitting Pedro's ice cream at the Mexican restaurants, or the meals that we have, the fun that we share at our meets, and those different things. So I hope you can look back and remember those. So I'm hoping in those next 3 weeks, obviously this Friday, we compete at Council Grove for the league championships. Next Thursday we're at Fredonia, and then the following week, hopefully we're all really, really busy, and we're at state golf, and we're at state baseball, softball, and we're also all at state track. And so my last thing that I want to say is to our seniors right now. I know that you get to walk out of this building for the last time as a senior student, but for those of you that have walked on the stage, you do have work to do, and don't take that for granted. This is the last opportunities that you have in some of these things, so stay focused. Keep grinding until this is all over, and enjoy every second of it, because I know you get to be an old dude like me. Man, I'd really love to, well, I just like to go run again, but you enjoy those things. And so hopefully you stay focused for these last 3 weeks. So for us, stay tuned on the Facebook page. I'll update the results for the league regionals and state meets. And other than that, is it Mr. Stuckey?
Nope, it's actually Mr. Coach Kramer.
Hey, Coach Kramer.
And he was assisted by Mr. Butch this year.
Getting lead time for us to lead for different golf tournaments. Really appreciate all the work she did. Also to Mr. Bellinger, all the work that he's done with us this year. He's done a great job. Let's give him a round of applause. He's definitely, it's just a natural fit for him. He's doing a great job with that. We really appreciate it. Also want to just thank the OCHS City Golf Course. That's one of the areas that we don't actually own. So we go down there every day. We get to participate on their place, and they host us really well every year, and we're just really grateful for getting to go down there and do that. The season has been a great success so far. The team every year continues to have good numbers, which is really awesome. And I also see a lot of players that start out as JV players that come up and continue to improve each season into varsity players, which is really neat. This year, as a varsity team, we placed in 6 of our 8 tournaments, and then that other tournament, league tournament, we started that one yesterday. Unfortunately, we got rained out, so we're going back today to finish about 7 holes of golf. So we're going to be leaving here really soon, actually. We're hoping to have some all-league finishers. If they finish in the top 12, they will be all-league finishers, and I see probably all 6 of our golfers doing that. We also are currently sitting in 2nd place for that tournament, so just pray for a miraculous comeback so we can be league champs. Beginning of the season, Bellinger kind of mentioned a little bit, but spring's always crazy. We had some very, very windy golf tournaments. For some other sports that may not affect it that much, but for golf, it kind of sucks out there in the wind. I think for 3 of our tournaments, we had winds over 35 miles an hour, but the guys just continued to battle and did really well with that. Not only did we have some rain at the Uniontown tournament, we had some pretty bad rain as well. We played for like 2.5 hours in the rain. So if you've ever played golf in the rain, it's not that much fun. But continued to battle, we placed 2nd place at that tournament, which is really awesome. Some other highlights for the season, we took 1st place in the very first tournament at Emporia. Team did a really good job there, shot at 363. And then Brian Davies shot at 88 and won the Uniontown tournament. So congratulations to Brian on that. Additionally, Coach Butch, this is his 2nd year assisting me, and he's been a huge help during this season. It was just really great having him around and also helping out with the JV team. He took the boys to the JV tournament and then was also just a help during practice to be able to split and do some individualized instruction there. So, for the JV, some results. We had Council Grove tournament, Holden and Colton tied for 3rd place. At the Burlington tournament, Gavin, Keaton, and Landon got 1st place. And at the OCHS tournament, Holden and Colton tied for 1st place. So congratulations to JV this season. I also want to recognize our seniors. We had 4 seniors on the team this year. And like you guys have already mentioned, we had a COVID year, which was unfortunate. But these guys have been with me throughout. And it's just really cool to see how they've progressed as golfers. So Owen Bailey, he has been with me since his freshman year and has continually been one of the best golfers on our team. This season he is shooting the best average score with an 84 and has been one of the most consistent golfers on our team. Additionally, we have Mason Gibson, who has been our 2nd golfer on the team all season long and has done a great job for us competing all season. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Bryson Banfield what did you say? Oh, his average is like 95, but he's doing really great. Bryson Banfield has competed with me since his sophomore year and has done a really good job. And one of the highlights from him being on the golf team was at a JV tournament when we went to Lamont Hill. On the 6th hole, he had a shot from about 110 yards out or so, drained it, and got an eagle on the hole. So I'll always remember that as a really awesome memory from Bryson in his golf career. And then new this season, we have Keaton Curley join the team. Keaton has been a lot of fun. It's been good having him around. And he has been a pretty consistent golfer for us. And we had a couple of openings on varsity tournaments. So he actually was able to compete in our home tournaments. And then he was also able to go compete in another tournament. So he has 2 varsity tournaments under his belt as well. So congratulations to him. I don't know his average. 135 probably. 132 and a half. Our regional tournament, we're lucky enough to be hosting regionals this year. It's going to be on Monday the 15th starting at 8:30 a.m. So if any of you guys are around town and want to come see a golf tournament, we'd love to support, have you guys out. And we're going to go through some lettering real quick. So participation, first off we have Holden Vaughn, Lance Evans, Gavin Erickson, Brian Winchester, Bryson Banfield, Amy Saley, and Robert Jones. This year we have 1 provisional letter, and it's Colton Medlin. top 2 teams from regionals will qualify for state. We have a pretty tough regional, but we are hoping to qualify as a team. If that doesn't happen, the top 5 individuals also qualify for the state tournament that are not on those top 2 teams. So if we don't qualify as a team, we're at least hoping to have some individuals go. That will be the state tournament is in Dodge City, and it's on the 22nd and 23rd. So have a little bit of work left to do, and that's all I've got. So go Indians.
Let's give a round of applause to Mr. Simmons and
Before we do that, let's get the date up here real quick. So if you're in debate this year, come on up. I've been coaching debate for 4 years now. It's my 4th year, and this is our most successful year, not just of my years coaching, but since 2009. So our debate team did really, really well this year. We owe it to a lot of people. Just want to echo, and you guys have heard a lot of these names several times today as coaches have come up here and said some thank yous. But there's a reason for that. You know, all of these things are run by a community. And so a lot of those people are supporting all these different activities, and they deserve our thanks each and every time. So I want to say thank you to our administrators, Mr. Song, Mrs. Jenkins. Thank you guys for supporting and helping us get places. Mr. Bellinger, thank you for stepping in for the new AD. I know that between Mrs. Jenkins and Mr. Bellinger, I'm sure I caused a lot of headaches this year just because forensics and debate are not like other sports. We're kind of a weird deal where everything is organized by the coaches, and we do it in kind of a hectic way. So it drives people nuts when they've got to kind of look from the outside in. But thank you very much for all of your support over this year. And also to Sandy Lopez, she's been my bus driver for every event we've gone to, and she's got us there safe and on time. That's exactly what I want from a bus driver. And I need to thank Mrs. Piper. This year, she is not my assistant coach. She's kind of an assistant coach in spirit. But next year, she will be my assistant coach for real. So I really appreciate all the help that she has given me this year, coming and judging when I needed somebody last minute to come and do things for me. And she's been a lot of help. Not everybody's going to know this name, but my debaters sure know that we need to say thank you to Les Lopper. He's been a rock coming out to judge our team and to give us some pointers on how we can improve. And he's gone to several different tournaments with us over the past couple of years. It's just nice to have somebody that we can call and can count on to do a great job judging and can really help out. So, this year, I counted up, and we earned over 20 medals from 8 different tournaments as a big team, and those are pretty evenly split between our novices and our varsity teams. We took 2nd place at our regional tournament in December, and we went on to place 4th in the state tournament. Again, that's the best we've rated since 2009, so give them a round of applause. Our novices, this year they did really well, even when they had to go against varsity teams. Sometimes we go to a tournament that doesn't have just a novice division, so they've got to go against seniors, and that can be really intimidating. It can be scary, but our novices did a really good job this year. I hope that I get several of these kids to come back next year. Been twisting some arms in the hallway when I see them. Hopefully that's working. But these kids are all definitely ready to step up into that varsity role next year. So our novice participants this year were Gavin Erickson. Looking back here to make sure we got everybody. Brooklyn Johnson, Landon Pettigene, Emery Stees, and Holden Vaughn. Now, our letter award winners. Our letter award winners, the letter debate, you've got to qualify for state. There's a couple of different ways to do that. Either you have to have a winning record over 4 varsity tournaments, or your team finishes in the top 4 at regionals. In the past 3 years, before this year, we only had 1 debater accomplish that. But this year we had 6, so that's outstanding. First, we've got Ava Palacio and Allison Neary. These two started the year as novices. They did really well in those novice tournaments, and I asked them to come and serve as our alternates at the regional tournament. And when we took second place at regionals, they earned their spot to go to state. Allison actually had to step in and debate a couple of rounds at state due to a scheduling conflict. So she came in and she debated 2 rounds, winning both of those rounds, and helped to set us up for that 4th place finish. All right. Now my sophomores, Madeline, but my sophomore varsity, Madeline Renfro and Stacey Shoemaker. All right, these two are on their second year debate, but it's their first year debating at the varsity level. They both exceeded my expectations and done really, really well, and they're both really central to the success at regionals and state. They both competed throughout those events. All right, Gracie Smith. She's the lone junior on the team. Gracie's come a long way in the last 3 years. Her first year debating, everything was virtual. She had to stand in front of a computer screen and sometimes hide on the floor between rounds. But she's come a long way, and she's taken up a leadership role, and she's helped to guide those novices to improve them in ways that I don't expect. So I really appreciate all of her help there. And she's ready to step into that senior role next year and take charge of our team next season. Which brings me to Ellie. Ellie has been in debate for 4 years. Her first year of debate was my first year coaching debate, and my first year coaching debate was my first year of debate. I didn't debate in high school or college or have any real experience with it. I remember stepping into the classroom that first day of debate, and I looked at these kids and I said, all right, we're going to learn this together. And while some of those kids were like, oh no, which they should have been because it was rough at first, Ellie definitely looked up and said, all right, let's go. And that has been her attitude for the past 4 years. She and I have worked a lot together, and we figured this thing out. And Ellie, thank you very much for spending all the time with me and teaching me how to be a debate coach. Next year, Ellie is not done with debate. She will be debating at the collegiate level. She's on a scholarship with the Liberty debate team. And so she's going to have to send notes back to me when she learns things at college that I don't know how to do yet. So thank you to Ellie. We look forward to seeing your success there. All right. Now I'm going to get the forensics team up here, please. Also eating. I'm sorry. All right, forensics, just like debate, I want to say thank you to all the same people that I said thank you to. And also, big thank you to the parents who helped out a lot with our home tournament. Whenever we host a tournament, it takes about 40 to 50 volunteers to spend their entire day here on Saturday. That takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication from those parents and those community members, so I really appreciate all of them for stepping up to do that for us. Our forensics program has a pretty long history of success here, and this year was no exception. Over this course of the season, we won 5 team plaques and over 100 individual medals. This is the 5th year running that we've been the league champions. And at state, we finished in 7th place out of the 41 teams there. So we had a very successful season. Our very first tournament this season was at McLeod. They always seem to host the first season of the year, or the first tournament of the season. And every year I say the same thing. At the beginning of the season, I tell my kids, that tournament can be our medal one. That's where we can go and really dominate if we're willing to work harder than everybody else up to that day. Because nobody really knows what's going to happen in the season until that first tournament. So when you work hard ahead of time, you do really well. And our team did extremely well there. We won the whole tournament. We earned 12 medals and 7 state qualifiers at that first tournament. That was a really great start to the season. The season continued to progress from there. We did really well throughout and ended up with a total of 20 state qualifying performances over the course of the season. And to be a state qualifier, you have to place in the top 2 at most tournaments. Occasionally you go to a tournament that has enough people entered that it's the top 3 are able to go to state. But that means that gold or silver medals at all those tournaments. And so our team did extraordinarily well. And I'm very proud of their participation and their cooperation, their work this year. All right, now to letter in forensics, you have to qualify for state festival or for the state champs tournament. So we had a handful of people who just about got there. I think they work hard again next year. They're going to get there for sure. So our participation awards go out to Aaron Neary, Conlon Williams, Leighton Wessel, and Josiah Smith. And our letter award winners all have gold and silver medals. Many of them have a stack of them at home. And those include Ava Palacio, Evie Elizona. I call her Evie because when she joined the debate, I already had Ellie. I've got about a half-track mind, so I've got to call people different names. All right, Gavin Erickson. Gavin started off the season really strong. He went to his very first tournament ever with a poetry piece, and he took gold at that first tournament, and he took gold at multiple tournaments throughout the season, including at the league tournament, so he's our league champion for poetry, and he made it into the semifinals at the state tournament, and he's in the top 12 in the state. Jacob Bossy. Jacob similarly had a really strong start to the year. She struggled the first couple of tournaments to get to the finals, but once she got there, she figured out that was kind of fun. And she did really well. She was also a state semifinalist. Riley Moon. Riley was one of the few, including Ava Palacio, who, while they qualified for state, we didn't actually get to take them to state because we could only take 16 entries, and so we had to limit out from our big group of people. Skylar Dunbar. Skylar did a really great job this season too. She dominated a couple of tournaments, getting several gold medals. Madeline Renfro. Madeline is gone. She disappeared between just a little bit ago now. Yeah, that's fine. Madeline did really well, and she did well at state too. She was a semifinalist at the state. Allison Neary. Allison is my speaker extraordinaire. She has stepped into the position of informative speaker, and she took that role last year and really run with it. That's kind of her one gig. That's what she loves to do. She does it really well. She writes a good, compelling speech and delivers them well. All right, Lindsay Davenport. Lindsay's another that qualified to go to state, but then elected to not go. Riley Penjean and Emery Camarina. I say those two together because those two have worked in duet acting together for the last 2 years and done really well over the last 2 years, competing at state both years. Sadie Shoemaker, Gracie Smith, and Emily Whalen. Now, I want all three of them to step forward again. Because these three are the reason that my hair is the color it is. You see, a little over a week ago, I said to my forensics team, anybody who gets a medal at state can pick a color and color my hair. And then these three went and called me on it. Sadie and Gracie earned a medal in IDA. That's an event where you don't know what you're doing going in. You have to draw a couple of characters in an event. You have to make up a scene and perform that as a skit in front of the judge. And they did an outstanding job medaling in 7th place. And Emily, she took a prose piece that was about a weird kid and somehow identified with that. And she is the state champion in prose. She took first in prose. All right, I've got 2 more kids to talk about. Weston Dunbar and Ellie Shoemaker. These are my 2 seniors. And again, these 2 have been with me for quite a while. Ellie was in forensics her freshman year under Coach Gallagher. And Weston, I convinced somehow to join his sophomore year, so I've coached him the last 3 years. It's meant a lot to me to get to know these kids over the last few years. They've both consistently done well in an event called XTEM, which is, I don't know, it's probably the most intimidating event in forensics. In XTEM, kind of like IDA, you don't know what you're going to be doing. You go in and you draw a current events topic, and you have half an hour to write an entire speech over that topic. And it's all about the luck of the draw and your charisma and ability to perform under pressure. And these 2 have been consistently great at that for the last 4 years. So give them another round of applause. All right, thank you very much, and that's it for friends.
And lastly, if you guys look right back up there, I want you to give a huge round of applause to Alan. So Alan is just absolutely amazing. He and the custodial staff, they help me with so many things, whether it's getting the fields ready or even getting all of our awards assemblies ready. Everything takes time, and people's time is so valuable these days. As you guys will get older, you'll figure that out too. So it is about 3:05, so I am going to send you back to your 4th block class.